Good morning, everyone. Today, I want to speak to the fire inside you. That flame that keeps you going when the world goes silent. That voice that whispers, "You are enough," even when no one says it out loud. We live in a world full of noise, opinions, expectations, comparisons, judgments. Everyone has something to say about your life. And too often, we start to believe we owe them explanations. Why we look the way we do. Why we chose a different path. Why we didn't follow the crowd. Why we dared to dream a little bigger. Why we failed. Why we succeeded. Why we changed. But here's the truth. You do not need to explain yourself. Not for your ambition. Not for your boundaries. Not for your healing. Not even for your silence. The world will try to put you in a box. And when you don't fit, they'll question your worth. But let me remind you, you were never meant to fit into a box. You were born to rise above it. When I was growing up, I was told to be less loud, less opinionated, less driven, but I chose to be more me. You don't have to justify your journey to anyone. It's yours. And the peace you're looking for, it begins when you stop explaining your soul to those who only speak judgment. You are not responsible for others' misunderstanding of you. You are responsible for your peace. And peace doesn't come from pleasing others. It comes from living authentically. You will lose people along the way. That's okay. Not everyone deserves a front row seat in your life. Some people are just not meant to understand your growth. Stop explaining why you chose yourself. Stop explaining why you walked away. Stop explaining why you said no. No is a complete sentence. You don't need validation from people who don't even value themselves. You are your own compass. Your inner peace is your greatest currency. Protect it with everything you've got. Do you know what happens when you stop explaining yourself? You reclaim your energy. You focus on what truly matters. You rise, you glow, you breathe. You start to love without fear, create without doubt, and live without limits. The ones who truly see you will never ask for explanations. They'll cheer for you from the shadows and stand with you in the storm. So let them talk, let them guess, let them assume. And while they're doing that, you build, you grow, you thrive, because your peace is louder than their noise. Your truth is stronger than their opinions. And your destiny, it doesn't need their permission. When you stop explaining, you start living. When you stop proving, you start breathing. When you stop defending, you start healing. And in that stillness, you'll find something powerful. Freedom. Free to be bold, free to be messy, free to make mistakes, free to start over. Stop explaining your fire to those still burning with insecurity. Stop dimming your light to comfort others' shadows. Shine anyway. Peace is a decision, not a destination. It's found in the quiet, knowing that you're walking your path. No matter how noisy the world gets. Choose peace over performance. Choose peace over proving. Choose peace over pleasing. And when they ask, "Why are you so calm?" smile and say, "Because I no longer explain myself." Let your life be the answer. Let your peace be your power. Let your silence speak volumes. There's beauty in boundaries. There's strength in self-respect. There's honor in choosing yourself. So to every girl, every boy, every soul out there, remember this. You owe no one an explanation for who you are becoming. The world doesn't need another echo. It needs your original voice. If they don't understand your purpose, that's okay. It wasn't assigned to them. If they don't clap when you win, that's okay. Clap for yourself louder. You're not here to be small, you're here to take up space. Boldly, fiercely, freely. So stop explaining, start evolving, start embracing, start choosing you. Walk away from chaos, walk away from drama, walk into peace. Peace that doesn't beg, peace that doesn't chase, peace that simply is. That's the kind of peace worth fighting for. And you don't get it by explaining your worth. You get it by owning it. So wear your story like armor. Not everyone will understand your chapter, but you're not writing it for them. You're writing it for the girl who doubted herself, for the boy who was told he'd never make it, for the child who needed a hero and found it in their own reflection. So let's rewrite the rules. Let's redefine what strength looks like. Let's stop seeking applause and start seeking alignment. Stop asking for directions from people who've never been where you're going. Start listening to your own inner guide. She's wise, he's strong, they know the way. Your value isn't up for debate. Your peace isn't negotiable. And your future, it's already unfolding beautifully. You've explained yourself your whole life. To your parents, to your friends, to your teachers, to bosses who didn't see your worth, to lovers who didn't know how to love you, but not anymore. Now you explain nothing. Now you choose yourself. Because peace begins where apology ends. You don't have to explain why you're healing slowly. You don't have to explain why your smile returned. You don't have to explain your silence, your solitude, your sanctuary. You're allowed to grow in private. This is your reminder. You're not a brand. You're not a product to be consumed. You're a soul on a journey. Sometimes the most radical thing you can do is rest. Say no. Disappear for a while. Let them call you selfish. Let them say you've changed. Because you have. You've stopped begging to be understood and started choosing peace over performance. You've stopped explaining your joy. You've stopped justifying your tears. You've stopped asking for approval because your life doesn't need to be reviewed. Not everyone deserves a page in your story. Some were just footnotes. Let them go. Not every goodbye needs an explanation. Not every yes deserves a why. Not every truth needs to be defended. Protect your energy like cooked gold. Because not all attention is love. Oh, peace isn't passive, it's powerful. It's the warrior's reward, and it is always earned. Some will call you cold, some will call you arrogant. Let them. They called you weak when you gave too much. The truth is, you're not cold, you're calm, you're not arrogant, you're aware, you're not silent, you're selective. You've stopped explaining because now you're protecting something sacred. Your peace. That peace cost you sleepless nights, broken hearts, endless overthinking. And you're not giving it up easily. People will misunderstand you, they'll misquote you, they'll misjudge you, but don't waste your life correcting them. You're not here to be liked by everyone. You're here to be loved by the right ones. And most importantly, by yourself. You can be humble and still say no. Thank you for being here today. I want to talk about something very personal, something powerful, and something deeply liberating. It's about letting go. Letting go of the need to constantly explain yourself. Letting go of trying to be understood by everyone. And instead, choosing peace. Choosing yourself. From a very young age, I was taught to seek approval. Be polite, smile more, don't speak too loud, fit in. It was everywhere. School, media, even family. And especially as a woman, the pressure was double. Be strong, but not intimidating. Be ambitious, but not too much. have opinions, but don't be difficult. And so, like many of us, I began to explain myself, my choices, my dreams, my failures, my scars, my silence, my voice. I felt I owed the world a reason for every breath I took. But over time, I realized something. Not everyone will understand your journey, and not everyone is supposed to. Some people are committed to misunderstanding you. And that's okay, because their opinion is not your truth. I used to ask myself, why don't they get me? Why are they judging me without knowing my story? Why do I always have to prove myself? But the real question was, why am I giving them that power? Let me tell you something important. You are not here to live someone else's version of your life. You are not here to be liked by everyone. And peace doesn't come from explaining. Peace comes from accepting. Accepting who you are, who you're not, and who you're becoming. The moment I stopped explaining myself, I found freedom. Freedom from guilt, freedom from shame, freedom from the exhausting need for approval. People ask me, why Hollywood? Why risk it all? Why speak out about issues? Why get involved? Why not just stay quiet and be grateful? And I would try to explain, but then I stopped because I realized my journey is mine, my voice is mine, my dreams are mine, and I don't owe anyone a justification for them. Listen closely. You do not need to shrink so others can feel tall. You do not need to justify your boundaries, or your silence, or your no. No is a complete sentence, and peace is a full-time job. So start showing up for yourself. Not for validation, but for peace. You know what peace sounds like? It sounds like confidence. It sounds like, I don't need to explain. It sounds like, I know who I am. And sometimes, it sounds like silence.